This is the Cherry Pick channel. Python tutorial videos. The Boolean concept is present in every programming language. When we write a program, we often need to compare data and, depending on the result of the comparison, execute different sections of code. Comparison operators return a special Boolean type that accepts one of two values, true or false. We can get Boolean values and use them to build logic. If we ask a is equal to b, we get the answer false, since 5 is not equal to 10. Please note that the entry of this value only with a capital letter. We can assign a Boolean value directly to our variable, but if we write with a small letter, we get an error. True and false are keywords in Python, and you won't be able to name your variables that way. You can use these words with a small letter, but it is not recommended, as you will create confusion in your code. Assign the result of the comparison to the variable a and look at the type. Our result is a Boolean value, which is very convenient to work with when building logic circuits. Let's write a very primitive program to check your username and password. Let's say our database got a username and password during registration. In fact, passwords and usernames are not stored like this, but for understanding the basics, a very good example. We ask the user to enter a username and password and then compare the response with the value from our database. Let's insert this expression into the already familiar if loop. If the condition is true, then print yes, and if the entered password does not match what we have stored in the database, then write no. Checking. Our expression gives the result true or false. We can directly write if true, write yes, otherwise write no. And this algorithm will work. In the Python world, everything is true until proven otherwise. We can add our algorithm and check the password. If you entered the correct username and password, the user will see yes. If an error occurs, our program will write no. We can give the user a second chance, and if he forgot his username, he may remember his email. Our program works correctly. We can compare not only numbers but also words or letters. Letters have their own number, and in Python these are ASCII table numbers. You can check the letter number with the OR command. The reverse cut command. We'll take a closer look at the comparison operators and the ASCII table in the next lesson. Python is case sensitive. For uppercase and lowercase letters have different meanings. If you convert the Boolean true to the int type, you get 1, and the false conversion gives 0. In reverse conversion, the number 0 is converted to false, and any non-zero number is converted to true. Even if you pass 0 integers and 1000, you will still get true. When converting a string to a Boolean value, an empty string is converted to false, and any non-empty string is converted to true. A space is already a sign, which means we get true. We can even use Boolean values in arithmetic problems. Knowing that true is 1, I can add true to 5 and get the result 6. But this is already pampering. When creating code, write obvious things that don't need to be decoded. If you need to add 1, then write so. In some cases, it is required that several conditions are met when Boolean logic is present. To do this, you can use the and their keywords together. The AND operator requires strict fulfillment of all conditions. And if at least one is violated, it will return false. For the OR operator, it is sufficient if at least one condition is met and then it returns true. If none of the conditions are met, we get false. True and false are opposite in value. Therefore the negation is false evaluates to true and vice versa. The Boolean type is important for any programming language. Using Boolean logic, the code can respond to different data within the program and execute selected instructions under different circumstances. I hope you've learned a little bit about how to work with Boolean values in Python. Follow our tutorials to learn more about the features of working in Python 3.